now being seated near the front right corner of the graduate seating area and wearing distinctive gold robes are members of the Corpus Cordis Aureum, or Golden Core of the Heart. Members of this group are Emory University alumni who graduated 50 or more years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, the Corpus Cordis Aureum. Please welcome the faculty of Emory University as they process down the center aisle. The faculty is wearing colorful academic gowns and hoods that represent the institutions from which they received their highest degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty of Emory University. The platform party is now approaching down the center aisle. The platform party is led by Professor Bobby Patterson, the Chief Marshal of the university. The platform party includes the trustees of the university in their gowns of office, the president's leadership group, the deans, distinguished university administrators, faculty and student award recipients, student ministers and vocalists, the honorary degree recipients, and the bedell of the university who is carrying the university's mace. President Claire E. Stirk, the 13th president of Emory University, marches at the end of the procession wearing the presidential regalia and the gold medallion of office. Ladies and gentlemen, the platform party.
Good morning. These proceedings will now come to order. Please be seated.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Chairman Goddard, trustees, faculty and staff, honorary degree recipients, parents, family members, and friends, it's my pleasure to welcome you to Emory's 173rd commencement. And a special welcome to the most important people with us here today, the Emory class of 2018. And yes, you may applaud. Your graduation is a major milestone in life. It provides an opportunity for all of us to reflect on the past, celebrate the present, and salute the future. Graduates, you made it. You completed all requirements. You convinced your professors and mentors that you earned and deserve to move on. You are ready. You are driven. Your future accomplishments will stagger the imagination with all the positive contributions you will make to the world. I love what Susan Craig Gilmore writes in her book, Looking for Salvation at the Dairy Queen. It's a funny thing how much time we spend planning our lives. We so convince ourselves of what we want to do that sometimes we don't see what we're meant to do. As you plan your future, keep an open mind, and the story of your life will reveal itself with time. At this time, I invite you to stand, as you are able, for the playing of the National Anthem by the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra Brass Quintet. An American flag flies from the pole in the center of the quadrangle. At its conclusion, you may be seated for the invocation delivered by Dr. Robert Franklin, the James T. and Berta R. Laney Professor of Moral Leadership in the Candler School of Theology. Dr. Franklin will be later. First, the anthem. Dr. Franklin.
Let us be in the posture of prayer. Gracious One, who is the source and end of all our days, on the pulse of this new morning, we offer thanks for Emory University. We give thanks for a visionary president, a wise board, an energized senior leadership, dedicated faculty and diligent staff, proud alumni and generous donors, loving parents, and above all, our incandescent graduates. We who have been privileged to be part of this great institution accept the responsibility to carry out its mission of service to humanity, to think, to teach, to heal, to challenge, and to improve our world. As we gather in our dazzling diversity, we believe that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., 50 years now removed, smiles upon this great gathering as a snapshot of the beloved community. We are Emory, a community of inquiry and ethical commitment, good people from every faith or from no religious practice, but all loyal to the reign of reason and truth. Today, our divided nation and our fragmented world yearn for the kind of critical minds and caring hearts that have been nurtured in those who are graduating today. Bless our republic with fortitude and resilience, as our graduates have been blessed. Help us to remember the words of Alexis de Tocqueville, that the greatness of America lies not in being more enlightened than any other nation, but in her ability to repair her faults. May we as scholars, teachers, and future leaders of every sort have the wisdom to bring our people together. Let not the divisions of worldview and opinion obscure the forces of reason and empathy. Help us to engage our hearts and minds to enlighten and repair. Most of all, as we give thanks today for these graduates and all who are being honored today, we pray that they will continue to inspire us and to, in the words of Anna Julia Cooper, lift as they climb. Finally, God of light and truth, may we heed the words of Rabbi Maimonides, who reminds us that the world is equally balanced between good and evil, and our next act will tip the scale. May we always act wisely to tip the scale for the good. These things we pray in the name of all that is most holy. Amen.
Class of 2018. As I look out and see all of you wearing your regalia, looking beautiful and handsome, by the way, I'm reminded of the conversations I had with many of you, especially our talks over the past few months when you reflected on your time at Emory. You focused on your sprint to the finish line as you contemplated the future. In doing so, you showed anticipation, hesitation, and much excitement about what is next. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and feelings. Those moments with you always will mean a lot to me. I heard your hopes, a longing for the future. I also felt the unease that tends to accompany the unknown. You expressed optimism and ambition. Some of you tried to capture what you would see when you look back a decade from now. You taught me what an Emory experience stands for. Some of you are contemplating what will be next. Others have already decided on what is next. But no matter what your plans are and what exactly you will be doing, you are actively shaping your individual and our collective future. And none of this, by the way, will be your final step. Let's face it, nobody knows exactly what lies ahead, but I can tell you this, I'm convinced that you, the Emory class of 2018, will get it right. Because you get it. You get Emory. You embrace our values, compassion, collaboration, integrity, inclusion, optimism, and boldness. Use these as your compass. Have confidence in yourself, and please have confidence in the world. Use your critical reasoning skills. Ask questions, evaluate evidence, engage in interesting and difficult conversations. Stay open to new experiences. Take risks. That's a long list, isn't it? When I finished my degree in the Netherlands, for a while there, I thought that I knew enough. I thought I was ready for anything. I thought I knew exactly what I was going to do. But as I began putting my education into practice with people who were sick, with children who were suffering, with human beings who were falling through the cracks of society, I realized that my education was just beginning. I realized that learning never ends. I still feel this way, and that's a good thing. Knowing we don't know everything, admitting we need others is a positive force. We must remain open to being changed by encounters with the world. Graduates, you may have noticed that around graduation time, everyone has a piece of advice for you. As I was getting ready for today, I decided you didn't need more advice. You didn't need my advice today, because I have such deep confidence in all of you. You will do more than survive. You will flourish. I look forward to watching how you take your Emory experience, all the people and encounters that you hold dear, into the future. Keep listening to the people around you. As you take the next steps in your lives, pay attention to those who differ from you, to those who disagree. Listening, consciously deciding to keep an open mind and heart is an act of courage. Listening calls us to act, saying yes to what matters. Listening also is an act of resistance, saying no to what might pull us apart as human beings. Class of 2018, I charge you to seek knowledge, for in that seeking, in the moral act of listening, lies our future. As you leave this place, please join an august company of more than 141,000 Emory alumni spread throughout the world. We are honored to have with us today a special band of those alumni who have demonstrated in their lives and careers the legacy of virtue and knowledge, the same legacy bequeathed on you. The Corpus Cordis Aureum, Latin for Golden Corp of the Heart, clad in gold robes with specially commissioned medallions, these alumni are members of the 50th reunion class, as well as classes that graduated from Emory prior to 1968. Ladies and gentlemen of the Corpus Cordis Aureum, would you please stand and allow us to appreciate and recognize you? Thank you. Graduates, you may be interested in a few facts about yourselves. Almost 5,000, 4,949 to be precise, degrees and certificates will be conferred this day. 41% of these to men, 59% to women. All states and U.S. territories are represented by our graduates. 987 of today's graduates come from more than 1 foreign nations, all of whose flags stand on display at either end of the quadrangle. 47 of you are service veterans. Thank you. Now let's talk about age for a second. 43 of our degree recipients are over 50 years of age. The youngest candidate to complete a bachelor's degree this year is 19 years old. The oldest candidate overall is 72 years old. All of you graduates, through your exuberance, make us feel young this day. Congratulations again for all of you. Students who have garnered honors and prizes are listed on pages 37 through 48 of your program. On page 36 is a list of those students who merit special attention by having earned 2 degrees simultaneously: a bachelor's and a master's degree, 2 master's degrees, or a master's and a doctoral degree during their time at Emory. Would the 92 recipients of these simultaneous degrees please stand, and would all of you join me in congratulating these students as well as the winners of honors and prizes? Please stand. Congratulations. Representing the many honors received by outstanding students and faculty members, 4 university-wide honors will be presented in this ceremony. Details of the accomplishments of these 4 special award winners can be found starting on page 4 of your program. Symbolic of all honors bestowed on students by the university, the Marion Luther Brittain Service Award is an expression of gratitude for service performed without expectation of reward or recognition. There are 2 such awards presented, one recognizing an undergraduate and one recognizing a graduate student. To present these awards, I call on the Interim Vice President of Campus Life, Paul Marters.
First, responsibilities do not drop at the awards. Thank you, Madam President. It gives me great pleasure to present the Undergraduate 2018 Marian Luther Britton Service Award to Jaylin Rads Minsky. Would Jaylin's family please stand to be recognized with her? A graduating senior in the college, majoring in linguistics and interdisciplinary studies with a human rights focus, Jaylin Rads Minsky has been an engaged scholar, human rights advocate, and campus leader. Jaylin is a member of the first cohort of the 1915 Scholars Program, which provides support for first-generation students. As a peer mentor to other 1915 scholars, she provided persistent and tireless support to uplift, engage, and guide fellow students. As an activist, Jaylin helped lead Emory's first racial justice retreat and founded the Black Mental Health Ambassadors, a program that connects communities of color with mental and emotional health resources. As a leader in Theta Nu Xi Multicultural Sorority, the multi-ethnic racial group at Emory, and the Issues Troupe, she initiated, fostered, and furthered constructive dialogue about human rights and relations across campus and beyond. And via the Emory Alumni Association, Jaylin demonstrably improved facets of student recruitment. Congratulations, Jaylin. Now it gives me great pleasure to also present the Graduate 2018 Marian Luther Britton Service Award to Nicole Schlacht. Would Nicole's family please stand to be recognized with her? A candidate for the Juris Doctor degree at Emory School of Law, Nicole stands out among an exceptional field of graduate students. She has provided signal support for numerous public service organizations, including Outlaw, the Legal Association for Women Students, and Emory Law Diversity and Inclusion Coalition, just to name a few. With great promise and an unwavering focus on a career meant to affect change and broaden understanding, Nicole was instrumental in launching Emory LGBTQ Legal Services. She drafted legal memoranda for the Southern Regional Office of Lambda Legal Defense and Education Fund on behalf of LGBT and HIV-positive individuals, and conducted research on Islamic law and international human rights issues for the law school. Nicole has contributed mightily to Emory Law and to the campus and greater community by stimulating discussion and action that eliminates barriers to legal help for underserved communities. Congratulations, Nicole.
The Exemplary Teacher Award, formerly known as the Scholar Teacher Award, gratefully acknowledges the long and patient work of a member of the Emory University faculty. To present that award, I call on Provost and Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dwight McBride. As Provost McBride comes forward, would previous winners of this honor please stand and be recognized.
Madam President, it gives me great pleasure to present the 2018 Exemplary Teacher Award to Michele Lampa, the Charles Howard Candler Professor of Anthropology and founder and director of the Center for the Study of Human Health. Professor Lampa is a physician scientist developing and shaping programs such as predictive health and the study of human health, to the extent that her research far exceeds merely leading the discussion of these topics. Her research, in fact, represents exciting paradigm shifts in the science of human growth. She established the science behind the saltatory nature of growth by developing a methodical sequence of investigations involving descriptive human and animal studies, analytic method development, and innovations in non-invasive approaches that can be applied to children as they grow in real time. At the forefront of work that is fundamentally interdisciplinary in nature, Professor Lampa has collaborated with colleagues both close to home and around the world. She's recognized as a pedagogical master who was called upon to deliver the Distinguished Faculty Lecture here at Emory in 1999, and she also earned the Emory Williams Distinguished Undergraduate Teaching Award in 2003. A model for many of her peers, Professor Lampa sparks student imagination by pushing hard at the edges of the speculative, never failing to acknowledge the partnership between teacher and student in unearthing new knowledge. In addition to deep support of graduate research, she has advised more than a dozen undergraduate research projects. As a scholar and teacher, she is an institution builder of the first order. It is with great pleasure that we present the United Methodist Church University Exemplary Teaching Award to Professor Michele Lampa. Michele, please accept the university's sincere congratulations.
The Thomas Jefferson Award is Emory's premier recognition for service to the university by a member of the faculty or administration. To present this award, I call on Vice President and Secretary of the University, Allison Dykes. As Vice President Dykes comes forward, would previous winners of the Thomas Jefferson Award please stand to be recognized?
Thank you, Madam President. It gives me great pleasure to present the 2018 Thomas Jefferson Award to Charles E. Moore, Professor of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery in the School of Medicine, and Chief of Otolaryngology at Grady Memorial Hospital. Dedicated to the underserved of Atlanta, Charles Moore founded the Health Education Assessment and Leadership Program in 2004 as a mobile educational resource. Initially focused on head and neck cancer, he soon expanded his efforts to other areas of medicine and eventually secured a home base known as the Healings Community Center, providing health education and primary and specialty care in many of our city's neediest communities. The center is a beacon, serving as a teaching base for a variety of Emory units, including the schools of medicine, nursing, public health, Emory College, the Laney Graduate School, as well as partners at Morehouse School of Medicine, Mercer School of Nursing, and Georgia Institute of Technology. Dr. Moore is co-director of the Urban Health Initiative, having secured federal funding for its numerous important missions. Among his many plaudits, he has been honored with the Faculty Excellence Award, the Hidden Gem Award, and the Martin Luther King Community Service Award. Dr. Moore, as we all strive to serve as selflessly as you, please accept the gratitude of your patients, your friends and colleagues, and the Emory campus community. Congratulations, Professor Charles E. Moore, on receiving the 2018 Thomas Jefferson Award.
It's now my privilege to present Robert C. Goddard III, Chair of Emory's Board of Trustees, to authorize the Conferral of Degrees.
I don't think that was for me. Good morning. President Stark, esteemed members of the university faculty, and distinguished guests. On behalf of the trustees of Emory University, I take great pleasure in accepting the recommendations of the president and the faculties of Emory University. Madam President, as chair of the Board of Trustees, I authorize you to confer degrees upon the 2018 graduates, together with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities.
This morning, we are honored to have on this platform 4 special guests who have distinguished themselves in the areas of civic leadership, the arts, human rights, and business. You will find brief biographies of these eminent individuals on pages 6 and 7 of the commencement program. Before we confer the degrees in course, it's our privilege this morning to present Emory's highest honor, the doctoral degree honoris causa. Dean James Curran, will you present our first honored guest?
Madam President,
Mr. Dean.
I have the honor of placing the name Bill Bowling in candidacy to receive the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Bill Bowling. You may applaud. Bill Bowling, innovative humanitarian, civic drum major, community ambassador. With the vision of a prophet and the savvy of a CEO, you built a network of nutrition throughout North Georgia and lit a beacon of satisfaction for the hungry of America. From the basement of a church and the bed of a pickup truck, you carried the overflowing bounty of a wealthy city to the tables of those for whom daily bread is an often ephemeral or contingent. Determined that food would not go to waste, you ensured that human life would not go to waste. Rooted in faith, your untiring work has invoked a miracle of loaves and fishes 1,000,000 times over, with dignity and staggering abundance. Your generous spirit encourages all to open our hands and our hearts. For your shining example of service to humanity, we confer on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Dean Michael Elliott, will you present our second honored guest?
Madam President,
Mr. Dean.
I have the distinct honor to present to you Carmen de Lavalade for the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts.
Carmen de Lavalade, dancer, choreographer, actor, transcendent artist. Reared in the city of angels that conjured technicolor dreams but constrained the realities for talented women and young girls of color, you gracefully overcame barriers of gender and race to help America reimagine art and life. In every performing art and on countless stages, you embodied humanity with unparalleled refinement. Listen, innovative, serene. You have demonstrated uncommonly wise insight into the aspiring, fragile, and dauntless human spirit. Your evocative vocabulary of movement has enriched storytelling from Shakespeare to Capote, Gershwin to Orff. You remind us that narrative undergirds all understanding. As a teacher, you imbue younger generations with your own unflagging energy and vision. In a world that often lauds what's caustic and false, you exhibit undying passion for beauty and truth. For your long and uplifting contributions in the ballet of life, we confer on you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa. Dean James Hughes, will you present our third honored guest?
Madam President,
Mr. Dean.
I have the great honor to present to you Gay J. McDougall for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Gay J. McDougall, legal scholar and educator, eminent advocate for humanity. Growing up in Atlanta during the Jim Crow era, you experienced firsthand the sting of inclusion and the yearning for a different order of life under law. Breaking barriers to education at home, you set out to break the chains of political prisoners abroad and bring light and truth to the halls of power. You gave voice to the disenfranchised and helped emerging democracies ensure the fullest expression of human dignity. Attentive to the suffering of the abused and excluded, you especially sought to lift the victims of violence and exploitation by encouraging their engagement in civil society. Depositing the record of your legacy with the Rose Library, you strengthen our own attempts of giving substance to the language of diversity and inclusion. For your courageous leadership in shoring up human rights, we confer on you the degree of Doctor of Law, honoris causa. Dean Erica James, will you present our fourth honored guest?
Madam President,
Madam Dean.
it is my distinct honor to present Michael Dubin to receive the Doctorate of Humane Letters.
Michael Dubin, alumnus, entrepreneur, and YouTube megastar. taking a machete to the stale business model of razor blade sales, you grew your startup company from a little shaver to a giant in e-commerce. Along the way, you demonstrated the power of humor, the fruits of imagination, and the value in taking well-considered risks. With insight born of experience and observation, you tapped a cultural readiness for the disruption of an industry trapped in a Lucite fortress. Steeped in the lessons of the liberal arts, of language and story, of science and math, you find solutions through habits of mind, wielded like finely honed steel. Not since Occam has anyone deployed such an edge. For your example of the way in which the liberal arts prepare one for a living as well as for life, we proudly confer on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Dubin, now Dr. Dubin, that sounds good, right? Sounds good. To deliver the keynote address.
Good morning. You guys staying cool out there? I only have about 45 minutes of remarks, so we'll try to get you out of here quickly. It is humbling to share the stage with people like my fellow honorees who have made such enormous impacts in the arts, in eradicating hunger, and in ending apartheid. I sell razors on the internet, but they're great razors. I guess whatever it is I do next, the bar is pretty high. Thank you, Madam President, trustees, faculty, staff, fellow honorees, parents, guests, students, and soon-to-be former students. First things first, congratulations to the class of 2018. Thank you to my family for joining me here today, my mother, my father, my mother's boyfriend, Doug, who are both here and who get along great. Thank you to my parents for supporting me through my journey at Emory and beyond. I wouldn't be up here today if it weren't for them and for a lifetime of their love and support. Thank you. You can clap for my parents, it's okay. It is so great to be back here at Emory, and it is an honor to be addressing the graduating class of 2018. Actually, no, it's a shock to be here addressing the graduating class of 2018. I admittedly was not the best student at Emory University. I graduated from Emory with a 2.6 GPA. Some of my best grades were an A- in yoga and a B+ in team handball. That's right, I couldn't quite get all the way to the A in team handball. At the beginning of my sophomore year, I was declared ineligible for the men's varsity soccer team, an organization for which I was recruited, and in the spring of the following year, I flunked Political Science 100 for the second time in back-to-back years. Now I'm a doctor. So you should obviously listen to me today. Now, the teacher of that political science class was Professor Giles. And I understand Professor Giles is with us in the audience today somewhere. Professor Giles, will you stand and be recognized? Professor Giles, I've been waiting 20 years to say this to you. You are a great teacher. And I was not your fault. I know you've been beating yourself up for the last 20 years, but I want you to know I'm okay. We can both move on now. Actually, I was recently told that Professor Giles is retiring next year after 35 years of service here at Emory University. Congratulations. I guess you've double flunked your last student. Right now, Professor Giles is like, who is this guy? I do not remember this a-hole. No, there is no one in 2001 who would have guessed that if anyone from my class would be up here 17 years later giving a commencement address, that it would be me. I know some of you are bummed you didn't get a real A-lister like Salman Rushdie or Stormy Daniels. Well, I'm not Stormy Daniels, but I did pay Emory $130,000. And man, did I get, you know what, I'm gonna skip that joke. Just go, keep moving. So, sorry, you got the guy who sells shampoo and razors on the internet. And now you have to listen to me for 15 minutes. Some of you will, some of you won't. Some of you have been up for 24 hours and are already asleep. Some of you have headphones in right now and can't even hear me. Some of you aren't even wearing clothes under your gowns right now. Well, nonetheless, I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes. Should you listen to me? Would I listen to me? I don't know. I guess I did listen to me, and despite a rocky freshman and sophomore year, maybe even because of them, I turned out okay. But we'll come back to all that. 17 years later, I can now look in the rearview mirror at my journey and offer a few thoughts that I think can be helpful to you on your journey as you exit this chapter to seek a life of meaning and happiness by pursuing your choices. And that is the word of the day, choices. I believe if you want to live a life of purpose and happiness, you have to become familiar with the essence of choices. Choices come, thanks for that, choices come in all shapes and sizes, and not all the important choices present themselves obviously as the important ones. You have to hone over a lifetime the skill of recognizing which choices are the important choices. Now, there's no doubt that the shape your life takes will come down to a few big choices. Should I take the job? Should I marry the person? Should I move to San Francisco? These big choices easily and obviously present themselves as choices that will have a big impact on the course of your life. But there's another species of choices. Let's call them little choices. They're the ones you make more frequently, maybe even every day. The ripple effects of which I believe actually have a bigger impact over the course of your life. They're choices about where to invest your time, where you choose to invest your time, how you choose to invest your time, and with whom you choose to invest your time. In some ways, again, you make these choices every day, and there will be no mystery to the result. Where and how and with whom you spend your time, invest your time, is where you will see your life grow. You should choose to think of your time as an investment. Peter Drucker, the famed business writer, says, "One cannot buy, rent, or hire more time. The supply of time is totally inelastic. No matter how high the demand, the supply will not go up. There is no price for it. Time is totally perishable, cannot be stored. Yesterday's time is gone forever and will never come back." So, you have choices about where to spend your time, and then you have choices about your state of mind, choices about your mindset. How do you choose to frame a tricky situation? Is it a problem or is it an opportunity? Choices about your thoughts themselves. Which thoughts do you ignore? Which thoughts do you dwell on? And choices about your attitude. Will you choose to bemoan a stroke of bad luck or blame someone else? Or will you choose to scrutinize the choices that might have brought you there? Be mindful that these little choices about mindset and attitude are just as important as the big ones, maybe more. Be thoughtful about the ripple effects of these little choices. Now, I realize all of that is a bit abstract, and that you've all come here today hoping to come away with the secret to life. So, without further ado, here is the secret to life. Stop going to the store to buy your razors, shampoo, hairstyling cream, and aftershave. Instead, go right now to DollarShaveClub.com, We have everything you need to look, smell, and feel your best so you can get out there and be confident and live a successful life. I'm kidding, that's not the secret to life. But right now, you can get started with a starter set for just $5. And they're amazing. Okay, let's get back to choices. As you leave this place to seek your path, let us not be abstract. Here are a few specific choices I recommend. Choice number 1, choose to try new things. You are not done expanding your horizons. In fact, you've only just begun. Something funny happens to people when they get older. They start narrowing their field of vision. They stop inviting new things into their lives. Just because you've chosen the next step on your path, do not become a one-dimensional creature. I advise you to invest time getting exposure to new things, even if, especially if, you can't draw a straight line between that thing and whatever it is you think you want to do with your life, which I promise you will change. New things, new people, and most importantly, new perspectives. If ever there were a time in our history that we needed access to perspectives different than our own, then it is now. Seek new things out and say yes, just for the hell of it. You cannot foresee how such things will cross-pollinate other areas of your life. I believe very much in this principle of cross-pollination, that expertise or perspective from one discipline can be exponentially valuable when applied to something else. Now, maybe that's obvious coming from a liberal arts major, but here's an example from my life. When I was living in New York City after college and I was a page at NBC, I had heard that all the great writers and performers on Saturday Night Live had been trained in improv and sketch comedy, and I loved comedy. That sounded interesting, so I signed up for a class, which led to another class, which led to 8 years of classes and hundreds of hours of training. There was no plan to become a professional improviser or a comic or a writer, no direct line between that and my career in media and marketing, or my goals in media and marketing. I just fell in love with the art form, and I wanted to learn it. And it is only because of that improv and sketch training that I had the skills to write and perform in the first Dollar Shave Club commercial, or any of the subsequent commercials for that matter. Without those commercials, Dollar Shave Club would not have become the game-changing force in American business that it is. We may not have sold that company for $1 billion in 2016. Without that improv training, I would have had to hire somebody else. Probably wouldn't have been any good, and the final product wouldn't have been any good. So, if I don't just say yes to that first improv class on a whim with a full-time job, then there is no Dollar Shave Club, and my poor mother would still be flying coach. Furthermore, my improv skills have proved invaluable in business. Improv taught me how to think quickly on my feet, to distill key thoughts from a live discussion, and to synthesize them into a course of action. And this is what I do in business all day, every day. So, by simply saying yes to something that I thought was interesting, totally changed my life. Choice number 2, don't do what everyone else is doing. And its cousin, don't worry about what everybody else is doing, despite how great their choices may seem or how much they all seem to have it figured out. They don't. I know the question on everyone's mind here today is, what should I do with my life? And that can be a really terrifying place to be, not to have the answer to that very important question. Well, guess what? You're probably never going to have the answer to that question. I don't think you ever get it completely. Ask around. Today at lunch, ask your parents, ask your guests, ask your friends if they know what they want to do with their lives. President Stirk, do you know what you want to do with your life? See? The president of this university has 2 PhDs and still has no idea what she wants to do with her life. So you know who probably also doesn't? Your pal who built the 2-story beer funnel and now thinks he wants to be a lawyer. I can't think of many people in my graduating class that 17 years later are doing exactly what they thought they would be doing when they graduated. Some of you think you want to be in sales, and you're going to end up human rights advocates. Some of you want to be pediatricians and are going to end up in film. Some of you have no idea what you want to do, like I didn't, and that's okay. Most people don't know what they want to do with their lives at this stage or what their purpose is just yet, and consequently, why they make the choices that they do. So don't be inspired or activated by somebody else's unthoughtful choices. And don't freak out because some of your peers may seem to have it all figured out. Again, another example from my life. After college, many of my friends went into banking. I chose media and marketing because that's what I was passionate about. They were making $150,000 a year. I was making $40,000 a year. They were renting summer houses in July. I was cooking rice and beans in the East Village with no air conditioning. That was really discouraging. I thought I'd made the wrong choice. I hadn't, but I couldn't see it at the time, and I contemplated veering away from my path. But I didn't, and I was rewarded for it. I stuck with media and marketing. At CNN, I learned how to hustle down businessmen and women, politicians and artists, and get them to share their stories. At NBC, I learned to write for and to reach big audiences. In advertising, I got to study how big brands talk to their customers. And the list goes on and on. All of these experiences have contributed meaningfully to my success at Dollar Shave Club. And this is not the path that you would prescribe for someone who wants to be an entrepreneur. Nor was it the path of a liberal arts degree, also hugely impactful. If I'd been swayed from my path, then, well, you've heard all that before. So don't be motivated by or swayed by social noise or by the early marks of financial success of others. If you want to live a unique and exceptional life, choose unique and exceptional things. Make your own choices. Follow your interests, follow your passions, and the universe will deliver you on your path. And be patient. Success takes a minute. Charlie Engle, a man who ran across the Sahara Desert 26 miles each day, yes, he ran a marathon each day, and it took him months. He says, you can't run day 40 on day 9. Have a plan, yes, but just run today's race. Choice number 3 is a mindset choice. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Over the next many years, you're going to have the inclination to find people that look like you, talk like you, or that come from places like you. To undertake activities or pursuits you're comfortable with or good at. To run away from unpleasant things and conversations. That's okay. It's natural not to want to feel uncomfortable. Your body's natural instinct is to be comfortable and to take the easy path. But it's important to train yourself to feel comfortable being uncomfortable. So do things that make you uncomfortable. If you don't become a master of your discomfort, it will prevent you from trying new things or taking important risks. But that's where all the growth is, in the discomfort zone. I spend most of my time in the discomfort zone, doing things I've never done before. I find it exhilarating. I'd never run a company before, a company of 10 employees, or a company of 350 employees. I'd never raised $150 million from venture capitalists. I didn't even know any venture capitalists when I started Dollar Shave Club. And I certainly had never negotiated the sale of a company before. You just got to do it. I promise, you're not going to screw it up that bad. You need to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. It's a feeling you're going to have constantly your entire life. Tough conversations with friends, tough conversations with business partners, tough conversations in personal relationships. And if you don't get comfortable, your discomfort will betray you. You won't have the presence of mind in the moment when you need it most, and you'll take the path of least resistance instead of the correct path. So next time you experience discomfort, this is an exercise, lean into it, hang in there, learn it, bathe in it, come to know your discomfort as a friend. That feeling is how you know you're learning and growing. And if you're not learning and you're not growing, then you're falling behind. Choice number 4, and this is a two-parter. Don't worry, I only have like 2 choices left. Choice 4, and this is a two-parter, be kind to yourself. When you're out there making thoughtful choices and trying new things and getting out of your comfort zone, things are going to go horribly wrong on you, more than a few times. You're going to get knocked around. You're going to have moments when nothing goes right, when you thought you've made all bad decisions, when you thought you've screwed up your life, and all the doors are closed. You will have to cope with fear. You will have to cope with disappointment. You will have to cope with defeat. Because of my GPA at Emory, I didn't get into graduate school. And in the crash of 2008, I got laid off. There's nothing that will prepare you for these feelings. But when they happen, and they will, be kind to yourself. Know that it happens to everyone, and you deserve to be kind to yourself. Sometimes there's even a great silver lining. If I hadn't been laid off in 2008, I never would have started Dollar Shave Club. Your journey, like mine, is not a linear path. It very much meanders. So take it easy on yourself, and choice 4B, choose to study your failure. You're not off the hook. Just because you're allowed to be kind to yourself doesn't mean you should waste a good failure. This is the time for analysis. How did we get here? What could I have done differently? Make the choice to study your failure from every angle. Was I underprepared? Did I misjudge something or someone? Did I make some bad choices? How could I, someone who couldn't even pass the same class after seeing the final exam the first time around, go on to build a billion-dollar company and manage 350 people, only by studying my failure, and then by choosing to never waste another opportunity? I told you before I took sketch and improv classes at night. Well, that wasn't it. I took accounting classes and corporate finance classes at night at Columbia. A lot of class for someone who didn't go to much class early on here. I could never get my freshman and sophomore years back, but I would double down on the time that I had now. I'll never waste another great opportunity again because I missed some on the first lap. So study your failure, dissect it, and don't let it happen again. And here's a related choice number 5. Choose to ask for help. Great people await you in the real world. Ask them for help. They can help you prevent a lot of failures. To ask for help requires humility, another great choice. If you're great, just go kick ass and let the work speak for itself. Nobody likes a glory hog. If you're not great yet, but you want to be, go ask someone who is great for advice and for help. Admit it when you're out of your league. Ask for help. Starting a new job, ask someone, how can I get the most out of my time here? Been in the job for a year and not sure you're on the right path? Look 10 years out and find someone who is having the kind of career you do want and ask them how they got there. Find a mentor. Find a coach. You have coaches in sports and teachers in class. Why wouldn't you want one in life? It's the hardest sport of all. And unless you've lived a life before, you're not an expert. You don't have it all figured out, and you don't need to figure it all out on your own. A major reason for my success is great people along the way offered me help because I asked. Why was I such an unsuccessful freshman and sophomore student here? Because I wasn't sure how to leverage the amazing resources of this world-class university, and I didn't ask for help until I was a junior or a senior. And thank goodness there were people like Andrea Hershatter, who's here today, who allowed me to take classes at the business school once I found my passion, and who opened the door when I expressed interest in marketing to Joey Ryman's Bright House just down the street, where I had an amazing, formative internship. Thank you, Andrea. My success is because of people like you. And you too, Giles. You couldn't get me a D that second time around, could you? People want to help you. Let them help you. And then it will be your obligation to help others. And that is the final choice for today. Choose to take some responsibility for someone or something other than yourself or your family. You are the fortunate. Yes, all of you. Whether your parents paid your tuition or whether you worked at night to pay yourself, you now have a degree from Emory University. You are the fortunate. And the pace of our world is accelerating. Never before has the gap between the more fortunate and the less fortunate been so wide. And technology and access to information, once trumpeted as the great equalizer, has, for the most part, acted as a greased downhill speed zone for those who already know how to wield the tools. We, the fortunate, have an obligation to bring along those who do not. That can and should mean different things for each of you. But if good, fortunate, educated, humble, relentless, worldly people like you all decide to take responsibility for something other than yourselves, then we as a society may just avert a catastrophe. So as you leave this place and begin the next chapter of your life to bring shape to our world, Remember that the shape of your life and the shape our world takes comes down to the choices, big and little, every day and infrequently, that you make. I've given you a few to think about. The next 17 years are going to fly by. Maybe most importantly, have fun. I wish you good luck, good choices, and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. I was trying to take notes of all the difficult choices and opportunities for choices I had, and I may have to come back, and hopefully you won't flunk me to get a complete list. Now we come to the Conferral of Degrees in course. The deans will present their candidates for degrees in the order in which the schools of the university were founded, with 2 exceptions. The graduate school will have pride of place at the end to connote the highest degree awarded in course, the Doctor of Philosophy degree. And the degrees awarded to this year's graduates of Oxford College were awarded 2 days ago in Oxford, Georgia. I ask Dean Douglas Hicks of Emory's Oxford College to now come forward.
Madam President,
Mr. Dean.
it gives me pleasure to report that on Saturday, May 12th, Oxford College held its commencement ceremonies, at which time over 470 students were recognized for their AA degrees this academic year as a milestone towards their baccalaureate degree. Also, I would ask that all former Oxford graduates of any year please rise now so that you may be celebrated.
Thank you. You may be seated. Dean Elliott, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of Emory College of Arts and Sciences please rise? And will the student marshals please come forward? Madam President,
Mr. Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. Will the candidates please rise? These beautiful, sweaty candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of Emory College of Arts and Sciences.
You are heirs to a tradition of academic apprenticeship reaching back more than 800 years, and you have proven yourself worthy of tradition. I hereby confer your baccalaureate degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. You may be seated, and please have a sip of water. Dean Sikatmi, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the School of Medicine please rise? And will the student marshals please come forward? Madam President,
Mr. Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Medical Science, Master of Medical Science, Doctor of Physical Therapy, and Doctor of Medicine. Will the candidates please rise?
These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of the School of Medicine. Trained in the healing arts, you have demonstrated proficiency in sciences and technologies that serve humanity. Shortly, you will assume responsibility for all who commit their health and lives to your knowledge. I hereby confer your medical degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. And you may be seated. Dean Michele, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the Nell Hudson Woodruff School of Nursing please rise? And will the student marshals please come forward? Madam President,
Madam Dean,
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Masters of Science in Nursing, and Doctor of Nursing Practice. Will the candidates please rise? These cool as cucumber nursing candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for the appropriate degrees by the faculty of the School of Nursing.
your profession offers the highest commitment to care of the whole person in the midst of changing demands of healthcare. I hereby confer your nursing degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Dean Love, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of Candler School of Theology please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward? Madam President.
Madam Dean.
I have the distinct honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Master of Religious Leadership, Master of Religion and Public Life, Master of Theological Studies, Master of Theology, Master of Divinity, Doctor of Ministry, and Doctor of Theology. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of Candler School of Theology.
You have learned to probe spiritual mysteries, to minister to the often intractable spiritual ills that afflict individuals and society, to exercise pastoral leadership and healing discernment, and to offer a message of love, peace, joy, and hope. I hereby confer your theology degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. And once the video is done, you may be seated. Dean Hughes, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the School of Law please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward? Madam President,
Mr. Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Juridical Science, Doctor of Law, Juris Master, Master of Laws, and Master of Comparative Law. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the School of Law.
As civilization rests on a foundation of justice, you bear the obligation to establish justice ever and ever more firmly among us. I hereby confer your law degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. Dean James, will you present your candidates?
Will the faculty of the Roberto C. Goizueta Business School please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward? Madam President,
Madam Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration and for the degree of Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Business Analytics, and Master of Professional Accounting. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the Roberto C. Goizueta Business School.
Accomplished in the language of trade, finance, and management, you are charged to go forth to accomplish the world's business with integrity as well as skill, fostering greater understanding among all peoples as the commerce of nations brings us in touch with what is different and what is new. I hereby confer your business degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. Dean Cohen, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Will the faculty of the Rollins School of Public Health please rise, and will the student marshals please come forward?
Congratulations.
Madam President,
Mr. Dean.
I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of the Master of Public Health and the Master of Science in Public Health, and all the dual degree candidates, including the cool as cucumber nursing candidates. Will the candidates please rise? Thank you. These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by our faculty.
As you address the endemic ills and epidemic diseases of our communities, you join men and women who have devoted their lives to making a healthier society. I hereby confer upon you your respective degrees with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. Dean Tedesco, will you present your candidates for degrees in course?
Madam President, will the faculty of the James T. Laney School of Graduate Studies please rise? And will the student marshals please come forward? Madam President, I have the great honor to present the candidates for the degrees Master of Arts, Master of Development Practice, Master of Science. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates have successfully completed their course of study and are recommended for their respective degrees by the faculty of the Laney Graduate School.
You have earned the recognition of masterful achievement as scholars or practitioners in your fields, whatever your careers may be. I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate degree, with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations.
Madam President, we'll welcome our next marshal. Please come. I have the additional honor to present the candidates for the great degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the candidates please rise? These candidates
graduates have successfully completed their course of study and their fantastic dissertations and are recommended for their degrees by the faculty of the Laney Graduate School.
You have attained the highest degree awarded in course. I take great pride and pleasure in welcoming you to the ancient and honorable company of scholars. And I hereby confer upon each of you your doctoral degree with all appropriate rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Emory University class of 2018. Great congratulations to you all. What an awesome moment for many of you, for all of us. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Ashley Grice, Walden School of Public Health class of 1997 and Gosetta Business School class of 2003, as well as president of Emory Alumni Association. Ashley.
Distinguished graduates, as president of the Emory Alumni Board, I have the privilege of welcoming you formally to the ranks of alumni of this great university. While your cherished status as students may have ended all too quickly, you will each bear the title of alumnus or alumna for the rest of your lives. Today you join a dynamic group of women and men, more than 145,000 strong. Would everyone in the audience who is an alumnus or alumna of Emory University, except for today's graduates, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Please be seated. And with the class of 2018, please stand to be recognized as Emory's newest alumni. Class of 2018, we hope that you, like your fellow alumni, will maintain ties to Emory, will help build its future, and will always feel at home here. As your colleagues, we know that the university has imparted values as well as knowledge, and we look forward to witnessing the leadership you provide in the communities of your choice. Wherever you go, you will always be a part of the Emory community and will take a little of Emory with you. As you make your mark in the world, stay in touch, stay involved, visit often, and let us hear from you. We wish you well, and congratulations.
Thank you, Ashley. You all may be seated. Graduates, as you prepare to depart from this place for the time being, please cherish the memory of those who have worked so hard to help you on your way. Would all faculty and staff stand so that the graduates may salute you for the knowledge that you have given them and the tremendous amount of work you have done. Thank you so much. There is one more group present today that deserves a moment of recognition. Will all of the parents, grandparents, partners, spouses, and children of today's graduates please stand so that the graduates may salute you for your love, support, and guidance during their time here at Emory. I have to go off script and thank two people who are here as parents, especially today, and they are Jim and Debbie Wagner. Please stand. And now comes the time to commence. I mark this commencement by quoting Joy Harjo, a member of the Muscogee Creek Nation, whose memoir, Crazy Brave, is among my favorite readings. I'm going to read Saxophone. The saxophone is so human. Its tendency is to be rowdy, edgy, talk too loud, bump into people, say the wrong words at the wrong time. But then you take a breath all the way from the center of earth and blow. All that heartache is forgiven. All that love we humans carry makes a sweet, deep sound, and we fly a little. Graduates of 2018, the world needs your ideas, your passion, your optimism. Listen to the calls for action. Listen for the opportunities. Make the choices that Michael talked with you about. Use all you learned at Emory so that you will deepen our understanding of humankind and our commitment to serving humanity. I am so proud of you. Godspeed and congratulations to the class of 2018. And now, let us rise to receive the benedictions.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you're a large group of people. My name is Teja, and it's my privilege to present the Hindu prayer for today. I'll be doing 3 because they're quite short. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Saksha Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanao Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhe tamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
Adam haya holech bamidbar, v'haya ra'ev, v'ayef, v'tzameh. Umatza ilan, shepriutav metukin, v'tzilo na'eh, v'imat hamayim overet tachtav. Achal mipriotav, ushta memayav, v'yashav batzilo. Amar ilan ilan, bema avrachecha. Imomer sheyehu priotecha metukin, hare priotecha metukin. Sheyehe tzilecha na'eh, hare tzilecha na'eh. Shetehe imat hamayim overet tachtecha, hare imat hamayim overet tachtecha. Ella yehi ratzon shekol netiot shenotin mimecha yehiu kmotecha.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the lamp of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. May I become an inexhaustible treasure for those who are poor and destitute. May I turn into all things they could need. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. A Christian blessing from the Psalms. I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord who made the heaven and earth. He will not let you slumber. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel never slumbers or sleep. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. The sun will not harm you by day, and the moon at night. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forevermore. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فإذا بلغنا أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا.
Please continue to stand for the singing of Emory's alma mater by a special commencement of Cappella Quartet. The lyrics are printed on the first page of your program. Now, you may notice that the author of the lyrics to our alma mater, J. Marvin Rast, also has a class year of 18C, but that was in 1918. It is, in fact, the first time that the alma mater was performed at commencement, which was exactly 100 years ago. Actually, in 1918, commencement was not until May-June. So if you think this is hot today, the commencement speaker that day was Bishop Warren Cantler, the 10th president of Emory, and the first person to hold the title of chancellor. His original chancellor's office was located just inside the building to my right. It is currently being restored and will be open early next year for you to enjoy when you come back to campus. I hope you will. Now please join us in singing the alma mater, 100 Years Young Today.
In the heart of dear old Emory, where the sun doth shine, that is where our hearts are turning round old Emory shrine. Sing thy praises, sons and daughters true. Hail we now our alma mater, hail the gold and blue. Don't kingdom, though the years around us gather, crowned with love and cheer.
Crowned with love and cheer.
Still the memory of old Emory grows to us more dear. We will ever sing thy praises, sons and daughters true. Hail we now our alma mater, hail the gold and blue. We will ever
sing thy praises,
daughters true. Hail we now our alma mater, hail the gold and blue.
Thank you. Would the new graduates of Emory College of Arts and Sciences please be seated? That's a treat, isn't it? Would all family and guests please be seated as the faculty and the non-college graduates march to their respective diploma ceremonies. Those ceremonies will begin at the times and locations indicated on page 7 of the program. Once the graduates have departed, the gates in the seating aisles will open for those Emory College family members wishing to move closer to the seats because your ceremony will be here. Please allow those family members leaving the quadrangle a lane in the aisles to pass by and wait patiently until the gates are opened before slowly walking to your new seats. And now, clear the way and let the recessional begin.